Hello and welcome to another Cleveland Sports Bros podcast. I'm Matt alongside my brother Nick. Nick, how are you doing today?
Great. Ready to talk Cleveland sports?
Yeah, we got an exciting show today. Uh, Cleveland baseball is back, and we got Cavs playoff basketball to talk about. Should be an exciting show. We're definitely looking forward to talking about both. Uh, let's first get started with the Cavs playoffs. Nick, what do you have there?
Well, the other than the play-in brackets, we know that the seeds are set. The Cavs have the fourth best seed in the East, facing the fifth best seed, the New York Knicks, giving Cleveland home court advantage. And Game One will be played this Saturday, 6 p.m. at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse.
Yeah, and something that we've mentioned before. It's an odd sight for Cavs fans to see a playoff team without LeBron James. This is the first time since 1998 without LeBron, or in back then it was Larry Nance Sr. as well. The Cavs have earned the right to play in the playoffs and also host, right? So it's been a long time without that guy, LeBron James, being on the team. A new era of Cavs basketball, and really looking forward to it. So, Nick, are you able to preview the matchup at all with the Knicks?
Yeah, so I think for most just fans on either side of, you know, uh, Cavs or Knicks, the biggest picture here is this is a really new test for both sides. Uh, Both New York and Cleveland have not had a playoff experience without a star player, and for the Cavs, their new stars Donovan Mitchell. This will be his sixth consecutive playoff appearance, five of them with the Utah Jazz, and this being his first with the Cleveland Cavaliers. We know that Mitchell had a tremendous season, and if there weren't some other big names out there like Joel Embiid or Giannis Antetokounmpo, you could argue he had a MVP season. He had 13 40 points or more a game per season. Um, he passed Kyrie Irving, who had 12, and he's 38 away from topping LeBron. I know that sounds like a lot, but based on his contract, I think he can top that when he's done. And lastly, who can forget early in the year that big 71-point game he had against the Chicago Bulls, and that was without Mobley or Garland.
Yeah, Donovan has been just as good, if not better, than what every Cavs fan had hoped about when we first heard about that trade. So now, of course, the time that it really matters is the playoffs, and we'll get into predictions in a second, but I think the Cavs, again, they're a young team. Both teams don't have a lot of playoff experience, like we said. There's going to be some ups and downs within the games, but the way I see it, the Cavs have the number one ranked defense in the entire NBA, not just the East, and the number 8 offense, whereas New York has the 19th ranked defense. I think guys like Donovan and Darius Garland that are really going to shine offensively, especially. And I expect the Cavs to win this series, not only win, but again, we'll get into predictions in a second, but handle the Knicks. It's still the NBA, got to show up, but really looking forward to seeing what they can do in the series.
Definitely. And like we just mentioned, predictions. It's very exciting that the Cavaliers have home court. You know, I think that really matters in any uh, playoff sport situation. But I have the Cleveland Cavaliers topping the New York Knicks in 5 games, so 4 games to 1. I'm sorry. I have them in 6 games, 4 games to 2. And to be clear, uh, if it were to go to 7 games, It's two in Cleveland, two in New York, one in Cleveland, one in New York, and one back in Cleveland for a potential game seven. Matt, what's your prediction?
Yeah, I think the Cavs are gonna win in five. And I think they'll win the first three of the series, and then they'll give up one in Madison Square Garden, just be nice, a gentleman's sweep, as some people call it. And then they'll want to win it back at home in Cleveland. So I think they'll take care of business in 5 games. Uh, three in a row, one loss, and then win the fifth game at home. So you can book that, and we'll see who's right. And again, ultimately, stay healthy. Doesn't matter if you win in 7 or 6, 5, 4. Just win and move on to the next round.
One final point I'd like to add, you mentioned uh winning the first three possibly and taking one uh dropping one in New York so they could win back home in Cleveland. Uh that would actually be a split. I think it's very crucial that the Cavaliers win a road game. They've definitely been the better team at home, and round one, two, and beyond, they need to prove that they can win on the road.
Yep, for sure. And again, MSG is a real tough environment. And I know the fans there, kind of like Cleveland, haven't had a lot of playoff games in recent years. So they're going to be loud and crazy and excited. So definitely tough, but good place to win. And a lot of eyes are going to be on this matchup, I would say.
Yeah. So now we'd like to move on and cover the Cleveland Guardians. They played 10 ball games so far and have a nice 6-4 record. So what's been very interesting about the first 10 ball games, 7 of their matchups have been on the road and now back in Cleveland against the Seattle Mariners, which also has already in April concluded their season series. We know how Major League Baseball is having all the teams match up against everyone else. Cleveland Guardians are going to play all AL and NL teams. So with yesterday's win, they took the season series, and that could be very crucial down the road for what we hope to see.
Yeah, and Seattle's going to be or expected to be a good team, and compete with the Astros, right, in their division. So, if we're in a wild card type of situation or anything like that, or just who hosts a playoff series, a potential playoff series, you're right. That is absolutely crucial. So good to see them, see the Guards, win the season series. So just keep that momentum going. It's been a lot of cold ball games, but we're used to that to start the year in Cleveland, and of course on the road, just kind of playing. It happened to be cold in Seattle and in Oakland. But Nick, tell us a little bit more about the games and some of the key players.
Yeah, so we've mostly been getting the wins thanks, you know, pitcher is credited with a win or loss or no decision. Most of the wins have gone to our bullpen so far. Get them any way you can, but you would love to see starting pitchers 1 through 5 really pitch well. I'd like to mention real quickly Stephen Kwan and Jose Ramirez, both with similar stats. Ramirez batting 300, Kwan 302, and Ramirez has 12 hits, Kwan has 13. Ramirez has hit in every single game, and he has 18 total bases, while Kwan has 17. Just tremendous numbers so far to start the first 10 games for arguably our top infielder and outfielder. And I'd like to bring up, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but Miles Straw at the plate has really been just putting hits together. I believe he has like a nice 5-game hit streak. And we know with his speed and the speed on the entire team and with the rule changes, the stolen bases are just going through the roof. And I heard yesterday in the win they've only been caught twice on like 15 attempts. So hope to see more aggressiveness out of them. But I'd like to get to yesterday's win. Three times they fell behind the Mariners in the ninth inning, the 11th, and the 12th. It went to 12 innings, and twice yesterday in the ninth inning, and then in the 12th, uh, 11th inning, Will Brennan, the young player who's getting some playing time over Oscar Gonzalez, tied the game once on a 2-run double and a 1-run single. And then Josh Bell, our new first baseman, who made a little throwing mistake that gave Seattle the lead, came through on a infield grounder, and Ramirez, with his lightning speed, raced home and beat the tag. In the final score, Cleveland beat Seattle 7-6. A little shaky, but a win's a win.
Yep, for sure. So definitely fun, exciting game yesterday, and of course, ultimately getting that win is what really matters. All right, the Guardians have the Yankees coming to town. What can we expect from that series?
Well, Shane Bieber starts tonight. He's had two starts so far. I believe he's 1-0, so he has no.
He has
I'm
no
sorry.
games, yeah.
He has two no decisions. It's Savali, the only starter that has a win, but Bieber is a very talented and former Cy Young winner. But as we all know, with players like Aaron Judge and uh, I can't even name some of the names off the top of my head. Just a very tough lineup. You know, any season, the it's going to be tough for Shane Bieber and our bullpen. But I have a prediction over this 3-game series. I think we can keep Aaron Judge out of the home run column.
That would definitely be a bold prediction, but I would certainly be happy about it. And I'm mostly joking when I say this, but we talk about crucial kind of playoff tiebreakers. You know, we could be in a position where we're fighting the Yankees for a wild card spot if Tampa Bay continues to not lose any games. So let's go out and win at least two, but it'd be great to send the Yankees home without a single win this week. So really looking forward to the matchup, a nice early test, and should be fun for the fans in Cleveland.
Yeah, and final point to add. So that's the 10th through the 12th, and game one tonight is at 6:10 p.m.
Yep. All right. Well, like I said, looking forward to that. And again, thank you everyone for listening. Another great episode in the books. You have been listening to the Cleveland Sports Bros podcast.